Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hearthstone Legendary Series. Cam Dozer here alongside Azimo Cutie, TJ Sanders. So that was a really intense match that we just got back from. If you're just tuning in, we had a match, Roger versus Trump, in which Roger had exact lethal one turn, but either got tunnel visioned against Alex Straza, worrying about it killing him, or forgot about Blade Flurry being affected by spell damage, misses lethal, then not the very next turn. But a couple turns later, Trump has lethal because Roger's out of cards and he can deal 12 damage. Roger's at 13, and Roger's also out of cards, so he's gonna take 1 fatigue damage the next turn. And then Roger winds up winning the game anyway at the end.
Yeah, that was just really rough, and you could see Roger didn't even notice that he missed.
No,
at least
he didn't
not
seem
that
to.
we know of.
Yeah.
Trump, though, as soon as the turn ended and he saw the 1 fatigue damage go on to Roger, he's like, wait
a second.
Oh, no. And so, I mean, Roger should have won in the beginning, but Trump did have a chance to bring that to a Game 5. Unfortunately, Trump is out of the tournament for today. But, of course, he will have a chance to qualify for the Legendary Series at the end of the season. We're doing that whole everybody that lost has another chance.
Right, the redemption tournament. And, of course, he can always enter into the Open Cups every week from here on out until the land for
definitely
a bunch of more chances to get in. Now, our next match is a rematch from yesterday. It's going to be Kolento versus Lemurian. Last time these two players faced each other, Lemurian 3-0'd Kolento in really surprising fashion. Look at Kolento.
Kolento is just posing.
So classy, so relaxed.
Posing for the camera.
He's like, oh, I got 3-0'd by this guy last time? That doesn't bother me.
No big deal.
I'm just playing some Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Just Kolento stuff. No worries. So he's going to open with the Priest, as he's done in every single match so far.
Yeah, and Lemurian's going to open with the Handlock. Now, this is a little sort of traditional, sort of not traditional. I believe it did have the Mountain Giants, but it also has that Leroy and the Faceless.
That's right.
And those two cards are pretty big deal. They actually won in one of the games yesterday. It's can be a pretty big burst, especially with Emperor Thorson. If you reduce the cost of one of the pieces of that combo, you can add in a Power Overwhelming and make it a 20 damage burst combination worth 3 cards. Handlock has always been traditionally strong against Priest.
Right.
I'm not sure how it's going to fare against Kolento's Priest. It's more of a minion-heavy, mid-game focused Priest, but they have Twilight Drakes are so hard for Priest to deal with.
Yeah, they really are.
And even just big threats in general are hard for Priest to deal with. Then,
yeah, because even if you're running double Shadow Word Death, well, you've got 4 Giants in a traditional Handlock deck, so you're going to have to get through those. Most of the stuff that Handlock is running is safe against Akanai Circle. You need, like, Akanai Double Circle in some circumstances to get through that.
And then if Jiraxis comes out, you pretty much just lose.
Pretty much, yeah.
You cannot deal with a 6/6 turn after turn, and you're not going to be able to burst down a Warlock once Jiraxis comes out, because Priestess don't have burst.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're running double Holy Fire or something along those lines.
Double Holy Fire, and you Thors on them the turn before.
Yeah, maybe some Prophet Valen Mind Blast cheekiness.
Yeah, but this is not that type of deck.
No, it's definitely not. And so Kolento's already got the Soul Priest Circle combo. It looks like that's what he's going to hang on to. Not sure if that's going to really benefit him much versus a Handlock. And then, of course, Twilight Drake already in hand for Lemurian.
Yeah, the Circle of Healing is a decent keep regardless, because if you can get out like a Injured Blade Master Circle of Healing.
Yeah, that is like the one card that can kind of go toe-to-toe with the Twilight Drake.
The poor man's Twilight Drake?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you have a 4/8? Well, here's my 4/7. That use 2
that
cards
cost
to
me
get.
2 cards to get. Exactly. Wow. And Lemurian having a very Roger-esque start here. Got the Drake and the Giant in the starting hand.
The Roger-esque start. Maybe Lemurian will turn it into the Lemurian start.
Now, the good news for Kolento is that he does have the Shadow Word Death to deal with the first Giant if it comes out. Oh, and an interesting play.
Yeah, this actually makes his Mountain Giant curve out better. But he's going to get the Twilight Drake out a turn later.
Right.
And also, if you drew into an Owl, that's a way you can put on early pressure against Priest is by owling your Ancient Walker.
Yeah, 2 mana 4/5 that actually can attack. Turns out is pretty good against Priests.
Yeah, so this way he can tap this turn, Twilight Drake the next turn, Mountain Giant the next turn, and fit his curve perfectly.
All right, I like it.
deeply.
Think of the power. All right, so he does have the option now to Northshire Cleric, Blade Master, Circle of Healing, which always feels pretty powerful.
Yeah, really does.
But next turn he's going to be looking at, yeah, I guess it's got to be that Drake instead of the Giant.
Well, actually, this is fantastic because if he plays the Drake this turn, Giant might even be better because he plays the Drake. He can attack into the Drake, heal up his injured Blade Master.
Get another card.
He could actually attack in Light of the Naru, his injured Blade Master, heal it up again, draw 2 cards, summon a Light Warden, and buff the Light Warden.
And buff the Light Warden. Imagine.
Was out of breath after that chain of events.
Well, we'll see if that's the route he opts to go.
I think it is. Or you can just,
what's his other option, really? Just
do the boring play and just sludge Belcher.
I was going to say, just hide behind a Belcher, but that feels like a really weak play, hiding behind the Belcher.
Yeah.
Must consider.
Take the risk.
Yeah.
Save the girl. Yep.
All right, so he's opting. Oh, and he picks up the second Shadow Word Death. Pretty nice to have.
Very
both of those
nice.
in hand versus a hand lock. Got to be feeling pretty good right now.
And now his injured Blade Master is even stronger. No Shadow Flame either to utilize this Ancient Watcher.
Yeah, so how does he most effectively react here? So you've got Dark Bomb, Power Overwhelming. Doesn't feel that great.
He can
maybe just
he can kill the Light Warden and then heal up his
with the Earthen Ring, right?
Yeah.
Get it back up to a 4/5.
Or he could kill the Northshire Cleric, Dark Bomb, and then heal up his.
I think that's the play.
Yeah, because then you put your Twilight Drake at 7 health. And it's basically a 4/7 versus a 4/7. Seems reasonable. You don't really want to play the Mountain Giant because you don't want to give him that big tempo play of being able to just Shadow Word Death it and clear off your Twilight Drake.
Yeah, and then heal something to pop up the Light Warden even higher too.
Yeah.
Unless that's what you clear with the Drake.
Yeah. Hellfire is also an option, but this way he loses his Twilight Drake.
Right, right. He does also keep a bigger hand, though, this way. He doesn't maybe go a little overboard with playing too many cards in a single turn.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Dark Bomb. The one thing this play plays around more is Shadow Madness, because he could have Shadow Madness, the Earthen Ring Farseer, use the Blade Master and his own Earthen Ring Farseer to take out the Twilight Drake. So that's what that plays around.
Oh boy, Thorsan coming down. And now he knows that his opponent can just ping it and then run the Akanai in. But if you look at his hand, I mean, he just got a ton of value, even if it is just the one turn out of Thorsan.
That combo, he reduced that piece of that combo, the Leroy. So he can Leroy Faceless.
Free Power Overwhelming.
He can actually Leroy Faceless, Power Overwhelming, and Dark Bomb for 23 damage in a single turn.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy. That's right.
All right, so Kolento sees Thorsan.
And Kolento knows about that combo too, because he played against it yesterday, and I believe he saw. Actually,
he played against Lemurian last time.
Yeah,
did he see Leroy?
I don't think he did. Don't think he did.
Was Leroy what killed Kolento?
No, Leroy killed in his second match.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Okay. All right, so if Kolento was paying attention there, then he might be aware. And I like hanging on to the Shadow Word Deaths too when you haven't seen a single Giant yet. Just taking the hero power trade in that situation.
Dr. Boom.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's about as clear of a Dr. Boom turn as you're gonna get. Floats the mana though, unfortunately, because of Thorsan.
He could have played Ancient Watcher.
No, but I think you hang on to the Ancient Watcher when it's only 1 mana, because with Ancient Watcher at 1 mana, you get a 5 mana Flame Strike out of Shadow Flame.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hard to beat.
Yeah. Or a 5-mana double flame strike if you use power overwhelm.
Yeah.
Utilizing the Sylvanas here instead of the Shadowwood Dust is a really smart play because you want to save those Shadowwood Dusts for those inevitable giants.
Yeah, absolutely. Very patient and controlled play from Kolento so far here.
Yeah.
Probably would have been a really difficult situation for most players there not to drop one of those Shadow Word Deaths.
And Lemurian actually has the Golden Dr. Boom.
You know, Golden Dr. Boom means to me? Was it 4,800 dust, I think, is all that means to me. It's just any legendary I want, actually, if I disenchant it for 1,600. That's what it means to me. And we never had that conversation, by the way.
Which one?
When I told you that gold cards represent nothing but more dust to me, and you said how wrong I was.
I was very offended by that statement.
All right, well, we're going to have to finish that.
I have a Golden Deathwing.
I don't.
Yeah, well.
All right, so he chooses to react here just with the Defender of Argus. Not bad, given some targets that he's not particularly scared of the Priest getting to steal from Sylvanas.
Yeah, throwing some useless cards on the board.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever he steals is really inconsequential.
I was just going to say, not going to have a huge impact in this case, although that boom bot could wind up doing something fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here.
Probably not going to be what makes the difference in the game, though.
Yeah, if he...
So now at this point, are you thinking, if you're Kolento, maybe I do use a Shadow Word Death here so that I can keep my Sylvanas alive even longer and get more value out of her?
Yeah.
Potentially. Even if it's only in the form of more trades, more cards before she dies.
You can Shadow Madness the Doombot and try and kill... No, never mind. I was going to say kill the Dr. Boom with its own Boombot.
It is absolutely theoretically possible. He would have to roll the 1 in 4 chance to hit Dr. Boom.
I mean, Boombots don't really have loyalty.
And then hit the 50-50 to deal 3 or more damage.
Easy. He's going to do it.
He's going to go for it. Here we go. Come on. Get him, Kolento. Oh, no, okay. He's just going to take the steal.
That was anticlimactic.
That was a bit anticlimactic. We were hoping for more.
He could have done the exact same thing without the Shadow Madness. Nearly the same effect.
Yeah.
But oh well.
All right, so now, looking at Lemurian's hand, he's going to finally, that Mountain Giant's been sitting there in his hand this entire game so far. He's going to finally put it down. He's going to try to protect it behind a Belcher, it looks like, but both Shadow Word Deaths in hand for Kolento. That Mountain Giant is not long for this world.
And he threw away the 1-mana Dark Bomb. So there goes his 23 burst damage burst potential combination later on.
There goes part of the combo, the dream combo.
Guess that doesn't really matter. And he wants to sort of weave taps in here. So playing the Sludge Belcher doesn't... Well, there's nothing on the board. Playing the Sludge Belcher doesn't really do much here.
Right.
So weaving taps in is the best possible move in that situation.
All right, so Kolento embraces the void, drops down the Akanai, and just softens up the Earthen Ring. Just so that he can guarantee to ping it next turn, I suppose.
Kolento is... I'm gonna take a little nap.
You've always got the bar on the side of the board to figure out exactly how it happened when you look back at the board.
Yeah.
Now you know how
I hope our admins are standing by in case he.
You know how Lemurian punishes Kolento?
Look, he's just gonna wait. Lemurian's like, "What's that on my ceiling? Do I need to change that light bulb?"
He can see Kolento too. He looks deeply offended right now.
Come on, man. This isn't a place to fall asleep.
Come on, man. You know how you punish Kolento napping is you take
Rope.
so many tiny little actions
Yeah.
that the entire side of the board over there fills up, so he has no idea.
Or we just
how it
rope
got
every
there.
turn and just hope he doesn't wake up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, let him
Oh, oh.
actually fall asleep.
He's alive.
Ah, he heard something hit the board.
Yeah. Oh, the Shrinkmeister Cabal on the Sludge Belcher.
Oh my gosh, devastating. Lemurian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really rough.
And as soon as you see the Shrinkmeister, you know exactly what's coming too. He sees the Shrinkmeister, immediately starts just sort of nodding knowingly of what's coming next and wondering how he's going to get back. Hey, now he does have Shadow Flame here available to him.
Yep.
I think that's got to do it right there. I think you got to...
He can also do something a little bit.
You're only at 14 health, or 12 now that you weave in that tap, too.
Yeah.
You got to clear that board.
He can, like, Sunfear Protector.
Okay, now, to be fair, too, that Ancient Watcher is just sitting there. That doesn't actually represent 4 damage right now. Still, though, at 14 health, that's going to be 13 damage. No, that is actually lethal. That's on the board now.
Yeah, it is.
So you have to clear as much of this as you can.
That's a lot of pressure gone, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what does he have on the other side of this that isn't going to be easily cleaned up? And he can... Just going to play...
Yeah, now Kolento's actually in a bit of a awkward feeling spot. He's just going to kind of throw the Pyromancer out there just as essentially a 3-2 body, really.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Faceless.
Ooh, okay. He's getting closer and closer to pulling off that dream combo.
I would like to see Hellfire Twilight Drake.
Oh.
Because if he Hellfires Twilight Drakes, he wins the next turn unless Kolento has a taunt.
Mm-hmm.
Hellfire Twilight Drake means he's at 22.
Yeah.
Twilight Drake next turn does 4, so the most he can be at even after healing is 20.
There you have
That's
it.
the combo.
That's it. You got to go for it. And the Priest isn't going to be able to burst you.
You put yourself at 8, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
That's outside of everything that a Priest can do.
Yeah,
you gotta set it up.
You got to, yeah. Kolento has to, if that is the play, has to basically pray for top deck Belcher.
Yeah, and he doesn't even know that he has to pray
and
for
he doesn't
top deck
know,
Belcher,
yeah.
so he's not going to.
Because he hasn't seen it yet. Not in the first time these two played.
Yeah.
Now, is Lemurian feeling brave enough?
He's toying it. Mousing over Hellfire, mousing over Power Overwhelming.
Is he somehow concerned about enough burst from the hand, though?
You cannot be.
There's no way he can kill you next turn.
There we go.
Oh, and look at that. He's playing some mind games. Oh, wait. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe he did accidentally misclick
there's no reason to taunt it up.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he meant to, but maybe, again, he is just sort of mind-gaming Kolento right now.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
So Kolento is dead. Holy Nova and self-heal still doesn't put him out of the range.
There's the...
and
it's beautiful.
Oh, my gosh. Here it comes. Lemurian. See the look on Kolento's face. I think he already knows.
He's got to know. He's like, I should have napped. Yeah.
All right, Lemurian, once again, up 1-0 over Kolento, and he shows the big combo, the big Leroy Jenkins Faceless Manipulator.
Yeah.
I like this Warlock deck. It doesn't feel as heavily committed to that combo as some of the other combo locks that you see.
It's just 3 pieces.
Yeah.
It's Faceless, Leroy, and Power Overwhelming.
Yeah, it's just sort of available to you, but then you always have the sort of traditional handlock win condition, which is just insanely valuable, big, giant cards.
And Thorson is what sort of unlocks that combo. That combo wouldn't be possible. It's back in the old days when Leroy was 4 mana. It was included in handlock all the time.
Right.
Faceless Manipulator was a staple in handlock all the time. Some players would even run 2 Faceless Manipulators.
Yeah.
One to copy a giant early on, or Drake, and the other for that combo.
Yeah.
Because it was just such a flexible card. And now with Emperor Thorson, you reduce 1 piece, either the Faceless or the Leroy, and that combo becomes 20 damage for 10 mana, which is crazy.
Yeah. All right, impressive stuff. Maybe already early pioneer of a new Blackrock Mountain deck there is Lemurian, up to a 1-0 lead again over Kolento, probably feeling really good. Now, Kolento has lost 4 games in a row to this relatively unknown player.
Yeah.
What is he thinking right now?
I probably know what he's thinking.
He's probably thinking, how could this be happening to me?
Where's my coffee?
Yeah, he does have that look on his face, doesn't he? The where's my coffee look.
Yeah.
Oh, and Kolento definitely gets a good matchup here, though. He's got to be feeling good.
Yeah. And his...
Kind of correctly predicting it would be Rogue next.
It could be a little bit rough, because Kolento's warrior is a little bit slower, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Kolento's the one running Ysera in the warrior, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a good matchup. But as we've seen, sometimes rogues can just miss lethal and still beat you.
And still win, that's true. Although it does typically require you to miss lethal back.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately.
True. Yeah.
And we shouldn't absolutely make fun of Trump at all, because Trump is an awesome ambassador to this game. Don't take that the wrong way if you're watching.
Yeah. Great eater, too.
I would have probably missed it.
Yeah.
And yes, one day we will watch you eat Trump. Oh, and bit of a mischosen class there once again.
Kolento just really wants to play Priest.
He says, I must win. I must win with Priest today.
Yeah. And he chose the wrong class, so we're going to make him choose the right class.
So quick regame. So now Kolento, he's got to be feeling a little bit better, though, correctly predicting that his opponent would go Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, too, I've watched a lot of his interviews that he's done in the past at other tournaments and for other organizations, and he's definitely a really level-headed guy.
Yeah.
At least on the surface, right? Yeah. You know, because there is something to be said, too, that sometimes it's easy to tell a guy in an interview, oh, you know, it's cards, I don't take it that personal if I lose, I understand. But on the inside, is that how you really feel?
No.
I don't know. I don't think so either.
Kolento... he's one of those players that understands that RNG is just part of the game.
Yeah.
And to be a really great competitive Hearthstone player, that's something that you need to realize, that every single play you make is reducing the chances that RNG is going to negatively affect you.
Yeah.
It's increasing your chances of winning. People always will say, oh, well, that last rag hit was what won him, it's RNG, but how did he get to that point where he let a rag 50-50 decide if he was going to win or lose? Of
course.
And so that's the thing that the good players realize, and you're going to lose some. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's how it is with Hearthstone a little bit more than other sports, but with every competitive esport or even real sports.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. So he does have the Fiery War Axe to get down and rumble a little bit with some of the earlier drops, the Earthen Ring, the Piloted Shredder. Just going to take his time now and armor up.
Creatures is what you want against Warrior, but Kolento's got some really strong answers.
He does have really strong answers, and you can't feel that comfortable playing. You certainly can't feel comfortable playing the Earthen Ring, not even getting the heal out of it when the looming threat of Fiery War Axe is always so real.
Yeah.
And even the Shredder feels pretty bad too, because he's going to be able to get through both of them.
Yeah, Coin Violet Teacher is the correct play here.
Yeah.
Just because since he doesn't have a weapon equipped, there's no way that he can deal with it with just a weapon.
Right.
Forced to have the Shield Slam, which would deal with either threat.
That hurts.
Yeah, especially since once he gets through the couple bodies, he's got a Dr. Boom just plop down on turn 7.
Yep.
And a Rag as well.
And a Rag right after.
So he's feeling pretty good about himself.
Okay. Yeah, and again, it's like what we were talking about earlier, using the Shield Slam, even though it's 6 overkill on this.
Yeah.
What else is there in the Rogue arsenal that you're going to get a better Shield Slam against?
Yeah.
You know, most of the time, the only next threat is going to be, well, okay, another Violet Teacher.
Yeah.
I might have rather saved it for that.
If he gets a target that he can backstab here, this is a big momentum swing. Oh!
I don't think he can give armor to minions. I think that card is a lie. I don't think that's true at all.
That would have been cool if that was actually implemented.
I know, every single hero power that doesn't normally.
Well, there's not many.
I know, right? So you can target a minion with your totem? You can put a totem on his head?
Totem stomp somebody.
Totem stomp. Dude, there you go. All right.
Oh,
so...
I'm a mage? I can target my hero power on creatures now? Thank you.
Amazing. All right, so then he's got a little bit of a board here, but of course, obviously, Death's Bite down to 1 charge.
Yeah.
Thorsan is just going to get killed, and with the hand you've got right now, not have that big of an impact either.
Yeah, Earthen Ring SI Agent's probably the only play.
Yeah.
And you force him to pick which one he wants to attack, which is going to be the Bio Teacher.
Of course. Yeah, it has to be.
He chips away at the armor, though.
Yeah.
He knows both shield slams are
Both
gone.
shield slams are gone, though, yeah. So that's not quite as important as it was earlier. Now, however, with that, and again, what else are you going to execute besides the Violet Teacher? Hanging on to it, though. Okay.
Wants to get that Dr. Boom out there.
Yeah, fair enough. Understandably so, on turn 7.
We had this conversation yesterday or the day before about sapping Dr. Boom.
Sapping Dr. Boom. Thank you.
Thank you. More boom bots.
My thanks to you.
What do you appreciate? What do you like more, the actual Dr. Boom or his boom bots?
Absolutely, the boom bots.
The boom bots can do more damage than Dr. Boom.
Dr. Boom is always dealt with.
Yeah.
How often have you actually swung with your Dr. Boom after you've played with him?
Yeah, sometimes I forget to swing with my Dr. Boom because I'm like, wait, it lived?
Yeah, exactly.
He might have to sap. No, because then he won't be able to do anything else.
Yeah, I was going to say, he might...
sprint.
He might just sprint, as rough as it feels, and then start throwing things at Dr. Boom.
Yeah.
Start picking things up from the corner and just throwing them at him and hoping one of them sticks. Oh, okay. You know what? I like this better.
He's going to make his sprint cost 6, so that way next turn he can make some big power plays.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, and he's threatening a lot of damage right now and kind of forcing Kolento to play a little more reactionary.
Yeah.
You know, by taking that turn, maybe it's a bit of a bluff, but he's telling his opponent, like, I've got a ton of damage, and I'm just setting you up. So now what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Which is maybe his way of buying some time in the match. A little mind gaming.
What now?
And he's got some options here. You want to clear that creature off the board.
Oh, yeah.
Grom might actually be a reasonable choice here.
Mm-hmm.
It deals with it immediately. Rag, you're not necessarily guaranteed to kill the SI agent, which in a will might punish you a little bit.
Yeah.
But if it hits the SI agent, you basically just win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there you go. All right, so now what's he going to do? I mean, he has to sap probably Ragnaros.
He can actually clear the board if he wants to take a face hit from Dr. Boom. If he saps the Ragnaros and then eviscerates the Dr. Boom, but then he'll be at 12.
That's rough. And Grom, as we know, is already in hand for Kolento here, too.
Yeah, I think he has to do that, to be honest. Then
yeah, I think you're
all
right.
Kolento has to do the following to just play Rag again, put him at 4.
No problem.
It's just really grim. This is why this matchup is so tough, because early on, he actually had a good start for being against a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as if you're the warrior player, you have some answers early on to the creatures, your weapons in your hand early on, he had both shield slams as well, then it's just really hard for the rogue to do anything.
Yeah. All right, so it's definitely decision time for Lemurian. He's trying to ask himself if he feels comfortable taking 7 to the face.
He could just go face and hope he doesn't have 4 damage.
Well,
but
that's a really risky play.
I mean, either way, he's going to be at 4 the following turn. It's just, does he want to give his opponent 8 mana to work with?
Mm-hmm.
He actually doesn't kill the Dr. Boom.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's smart because he's going to take that damage anyway.
Yeah. He might be looking at double eviscerate as a potential 8 or even 10 damage with the Azure in hand. That he knows he kind of needs in this matchup anyway. You got to try to get through all that health.
I don't see a way out.
No.
Wait. Azure Drake into second prep. Nope.
Nope.
Could prep Tinker.
Well, he's
Sharp
got
Sword,
I mean, he's
Eviscerate.
got. I think he has to eviscerate SI on Dr. Boom here.
He can eviscerate Blade Flurry.
I think he wants to save the Blade Flurry for higher damage, though.
His targeting arrow is just going all over the place. I don't even know what he wants to do. What is he even thinking?
It's like Gosu Micro.
Yeah. Gives him the best chance.
Yeah, all right.
And actually has quite a bit of burst potential.
Yeah, he does have the Tinkers in hand.
How much damage could he do next turn? He'll have...
So Tinkers would make it 7, plus on the Fresh Dagger, that's 11. Eviscerate with spell damage, supposing Azure Drake lives,
16.
is another 5, that's 16.
Yeah.
With the preparation, that leaves him with enough mana to SI as well, so that's 18.
It's a lot of damage, but it's
not
not going to be enough.
See what gets off the top. Okay, it's another prep. So I think you start with a prep Fan and Knives, see what you pull.
Mm-hmm. If he gets a Blade Flurry, he could end up clearing the board at least.
Hey!
Oh! Okay, so you SI Agent his face.
Mm-hmm.
Dagger up, SI Agent his face. Oh no, he doesn't have enough mana.
Well, he has the second prep for the Tinkers.
Yeah, but... Oh yeah, he would have enough mana to do all that. Huh. Yeah, I don't know why he did that.
All right.
I guess it doesn't matter. Because he's saving... either way, he's still going to do the same amount of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Just he'll be able to catch whatever comes out next turn in the Blade Flurry.
Right.
So this, he might as well just Tinker because he'll have to, most likely, have to use the SI Agent or his weapon to attack the SI Agent.
The other thing, too, is he knows that the best case scenario, since the Warrior has a weapon and he's sitting at 9 health, he knows that he sent Ragnaros back to Kolento's hand earlier. So he knows best case scenario, he's a 50-50 to just lose right now.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Kolento's going to do. It probably gives him the best chance on this turn just to win.
Yeah. He knew that Rag was coming. I don't know why he acted surprised.
Yeah.
You sapped it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, what's it going to be? Does he get another turn? No. There it is. Kolento gets his first win against Lemurian.
Yeah, that's all he needs to
Maybe.
unleash the potential.
It only took him 5 games here.
No, that's a rough matchup for Rogues.
It is, yeah. Definitely, I want to say an experienced tournament player decision right there by Kolento to wind up choosing his Warrior, anticipating the Oil Rogue to be coming next.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And Lemurian has still got to win with that Rogue. He has his Mage as well, which is the Mech Mage. So might want to save that for last because that can be just about anything.
Sure.
Kolento still has to find wins with Priest as well as Druid.
Yeah.
So he wants to try and avoid the Priest for his Mech Mage. And that would mean that he's got to beat the Druid with the Rogue.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit easier. So probably Rogue again in hopes for the Druid.
Yeah. Oh,
he got
it. All right.
He mind games him.
Amazing. Kolento going back to his Priest just to run up into Lemurian's Mage.
Yeah. And
all right.
Kolento actually has a deck that's built pretty well to deal with Mech Mage as long as he doesn't get blown out in the first couple turns.
Sure. Yeah.
He's got double Shadow Madness, which is fantastic because almost every single card in Mech Mage can be Shadow Madness.
Yeah, what are you not going to get value out of against Mech Mage other than Tinker Towns, obviously, but then you've got potentially Shrinkmeister to get him going.
Yeah.
Goblin Blast Mage.
You could Shadow Word Death that.
Yeah. Those are... I think just about everything else can wind up getting Shadow Madness.
Yeah, he's got a really strong, like, mid-range Priest deck, which is weird. It's not really mid-range. It's still a control-y Priest.
Sure.
But it's very minion-heavy, very minion-focused, and with double Shadow Madness and double Shrinkmaster, stuff like that, it makes it so his matchups against these faster decks are a little bit better.
The light shall bring victory.
All right, so this is that weird kind of Mech Mage that we saw that we were wondering a little bit about. What could he have possibly teched out to get all these 1-drops into?
Yeah.
And the Black Knight.
I would not have, I don't know. I hate Mana Worm against Priest. I guess with Frostbolt it's good, but I would have only kept 1 Mana Worm.
Mm-hmm. Well, he also didn't have the Frostbolt during the Mulligan phase either. He picked that up off the top of the deck.
Yeah, it can feel good to keep 2 1-drops, but I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
Chugga, 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 chugga. Have you seen the music video they made for Chugga Chugga?
No.
You gotta check it out. I'll show you later.
Okay.
All right, so
I'm
just
looking
gonna be
forward to it.
just gonna be a self-heal from Kolento here, and wow, another Chugga Chugga.
I would just play second Mana Worm.
Mana Worm and Ping.
Yeah.
Hang on to some cards in case he gets, because
Well,
we
it's
can
the most-
already see that Auchenai Circle is in Kolento's hand, and you're kind of always thinking that.
Yeah, and it's also the most mana efficient play.
Yeah.
You have your activator for Goblin Blast Mage next turn either. And as a Mech Mage, you can't really afford to go out of your way to play around Auchenai Circle.
Yeah, that's true. You're kind of always playing into it just because of the cards in your deck.
Yeah.
Oh, is he going to go for it this quick?
He's got Power Word Shield, and he's also got Light of the Naru to just pick off whatever comes out next turn.
Yeah.
Basically forcing him to ping.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're probably going to just see a ping and another Chugga here.
Exactly. And he might have used that a little bit too
I
early.
think he may have, yeah. And time will tell. We'll see if he winds up in another situation where he wishes he still had that. And he had shown perhaps a little more patience. I mean, maybe even just Blade Master Circle would have been better in that situation. Just a card, a big body that can trade with all of that stuff for a long time.
Yeah, let's see if he can get the Sniperino down on this injured boy. Nope.
That didn't quite do it.
Yeah. Not quite what was
Not
planned.
quite what was planned.
Is able to get the Cogmaster down with the leftover 1 mana, but he hasn't put in as much pressure on the board as you would really see from a Mech Mage, and that goes to the Mana Worms. I mean, they really didn't accomplish much. I guess anything else would have been caught in that, but maybe even a card like a Noyotron.
Sure.
Or something else. But now he's into trouble because he can Light of the Naru, trade into the Goblin Blast Mage, heal up.
Yeah.
Shadow Madness also.
Shadow
he's taking
Madness.
away the mech.
Yeah, I was going to say.
All right. He's still going to virtually accomplish the same thing.
What to do?
All right.
What?
Wow. What? This is a pretty intense. It's definitely different than any Mech Mage I've ever seen.
He's got Black Knight, Ragnaros,
Yeah, a lot
double
of
Mana Worm.
crazy kind of tech choices that are definitely unorthodox to say the least.
We figured out yesterday he cut out the Mad Scientists and the Mirror Entities.
And the Mirror Entities. That's only 4 cards, though.
Yeah, well, he put in Black Knight, Ragnaros, and Mana Worms.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
The other things, Tinkertown Technician, you can sort of sub out with like one of your 4-drop slots, like your Mechanical Yetis, or even like Harvest Golem is a card that's substituted out sometimes for that.
Yeah.
Most players choose to go with Spider Golem as their go-to 3-drop.
All right. Well, we do seem to be seeing the Mech Mage starting to run out of cards, as they can tend to if you're not able to get your opponent down as quickly as you want. And now we see Kolento, who's going to have this draw battery out there for a while.
Yeah.
Going to be able to clear
You can even...
Lemurian's board, no problem.
Yeah, this is...
Investing quite a bit into one injured Blade Master, but then what really can the Mage do against a 4/9 as far as removal?
Not much.
Now, knowing Lemurian and seeing what we've seen so far from this sort of bizarre, unorthodox deck of his, he could always have a polymorph in there.
He could, yeah. I doubt it. It doesn't seem like he just has room for anything more.
I would have said the same thing about Ragnaros, though, if
Yeah.
you suggested that. I'd be like, I doubt it. Maybe, but probably not. It's a Mech Mage.
Feels like he has 35 cards in this deck. This is a bad hand.
Yeah, this is rough. What do you do?
Fireball,
Fireball.
face, Frostbolt face, Rag next turn, hope it hits face, then hope you draw into a Fireball the next turn. and hope that hits. Well, not hope that hits face. Hit that to face.
That's one game plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be 23 damage. No, he still wouldn't kill him. Even
Yeah.
with that line of play, still wouldn't kill him.
Yeah, he's going to be healing up every turn anyway between all that.
Yep.
Whew. Fireball, Frostbolt into them.
No way out.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is rough.
Like that Foo Fighter song. No way
It's
out.
like our technical director's favorite band, the Foo Fighters.
Yep. He's a life-size poster of Dave Grohl on his wall.
Yeah, I know. It's a little bit
And he
disconcerting
refuses.
the first time you
He
see
likes
it.
Foo Fighters so much that he refuses to acknowledge that Dave Grohl was ever part of Nirvana.
No, couldn't have been. All right, so we do just see the Frostbolt go down on the Shrinkmeister and a ping to the face.
Oh, thought steals galore here.
Yeah. And at this point, too, I mean, I'd have probably thought stolen instead of putting Harrison down just to get kind of greedy and
Yeah.
just look, oh, he's got 2 cards. Let's see how he likes it when I've got 8 in my hand.
Peek into the mind of the beast.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean,
He's just playing from so far behind right now that it really just doesn't feel like there's going to be a way out. Because if he
no,
racks
it
here,
doesn't.
it almost has to hit the Harrison Jones for it to do anything.
To have any impact,
And
exactly.
he knows that it's just going to get instantly Shadow or Death.
Yeah.
Because it's like the only Shadow or Death target that he has. I mean, he has Lolitheb and Goblin Blast Mage, but this, I just don't see this having a high impact. It does.
Hey, all right, he rolls pretty good there, though. That worked out for him. Of course,
But
the instant Shadow or Death coming down. And the Belcher. Not going to get greedy, just going to slowly wrap the noose around this game as Kolento.
Yeah. Priests don't really finish games that quickly.
No. Well, so that's why I'm saying I might just thought steal in this scenario.
Yeah.
Just thought
Maybe I'll
steal
get
and you
a
get
fireball.
double fireball.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
That's sweet.
That's exactly what this class needed. And another ping to the face. You're going to feel that one, Kolento, when you wake up in the morning.
Let me change.
It's too bad you don't like golden cards, because Golden Cabal Shadow Priest, even though that's not one,
Yeah.
is really great.
Yeah, and Lemurian knows. He sees the writing on the wall with the slow nod of the head and kind of the helpless smirk.
Was that what that is?
That's what I saw.
He might even just. Oh no.
Yeah,
He wants to see what else is in this deck. I don't know if.
Okay, yeah.
Priests have a lot of cards that they can sub in and out.
No, you're right. Okay,
Okay,
but
he
he does
concedes.
just choose to concede. I was going to say, that's a ladder concede probably 2 turns ago.
Yeah.
But choosing to concede, not going to probably get much more information out of Kolento in that match. Kolento probably not going to give much more information to him. You're at that point in the game where you just sort of stop playing cards until he can deal with your board.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so Kolento only 1 game away from securing a spot in the finals against Roger. And he's got to do it with Druid. Now, the thing about this is Lemurian actually has 2 decks that are pretty decent against Druid. He's got that Mech Mage that we just saw.
Yeah.
And he also has a Rogue. Both of those classes can beat Druid with decent consistency. I'd say both
Sure.
of those are actually favored
Okay.
against the standard mid-range Druid that Kolento is running. He does have 2 tries, though, and Druid is one of those classes that can always pull out wins. Their worst matchup, they usually have like a 40% chance to win, and that's it. It's probably Mech Mage is one of those.
Yeah. All right. So which do you think Lemurian chooses to go with? Let's find out. Okay, just sticking with the Mech Mage for now.
Yeah, Mech Mage has the best chance to beat it
Okay.
out of the 2 that he has between Mage and Rogue, so he wants us to go to a Game 5. Again, that seems to be what the players try to go with. They want the match to go as long as possible instead of just trying to get wins that they know they're going to have to get anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and again, it's I guess it just depends on the kind of person you are. It seems logical to me that okay, I should take the win while I can get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe build up a little momentum going into the hardest match I'm going to have.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the logic.
Maybe get your fireball finger going a little bit.
There you go.
Get the stretches out of the way. But Kolento has his work cut out for him in this match because Mech Mage can run away with games against Druid. It can be brutal sometimes. But we just saw last matchup, I think, Mech Mage got kind of wrecked.
Yeah, that's true.
And he had that early shade into double wild growth, and then just big threats just made it really hard for the Mech Mage to do anything.
Yeah, and that was in spite of a double Mech Warper opening, too.
Yeah,
which is, like, almost unreal. That's almost impossible to beat when you see that.
Yeah. And he had that Innervate shade, and that stopped it in its tracks. Because that first Mech Warper that comes out that needs to be safe for the other Mech Warper shenanigans to get going.
Yeah.
Which just stopped in its tracks, and he was forced to, like, Cogmaster.
Yeah.
And those things can happen.
All right, so it does look like we may have missed out on the mulligans here. No problem, though. And already Kolento, though, with both Wraths and Wild Growth in hand.
Nice.
He's pretty much got every tool he has at his disposal, other than maybe Keeper, to deal with an aggro sort of a deck. And oh my gosh, look at that hand.
Lemurian's got to be sad.
That is rough.
Yeah. He's going to see, if he doesn't draw into something that he can play, he's going to see a ping to, oh man, that is brutal.
That is so harsh.
Yeah.
Kolento's got to be feeling real good right now. Gets another Wild Growth.
Gross.
Next turn, just go ahead and Thaurissan.
Wow. And then the following turn, just Dr. Boom.
Oh,
and then the following turn, just...
You could Dr. Boom and Wrath on turn 6. Or no, turn 5.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, Kolento definitely, on paper, looks like he's going to be able to take this one 3-1, but you never know.
Well, I mean, Mage has a lot of hard-hitting cards.
That's true. So this Blast Mage is going to be able to get rid of Thaurissan with the aid of the Shredder.
Yeah. Like, he's going to play big threats every single turn, and Black Knight can actually be a pretty big swing card in this matchup. It's not something that players usually play around when they're playing against Mech Mage.
That's the truth.
There's a Druid of the Claw already. They'll usually put that Druid of the Claw in the top form thinking, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm blocking a lot of damage with this sucker.
Right. Okay, so maybe Lemurian isn't so quite dead to rights as we would have imagined at first, but he doesn't really have an immediate response whatsoever to this Dr. Boom.
Still, though, card for card, Druids still come out on top.
Yeah.
But it all depends, because right now, Kolento's cards are not quite as strong.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, never mind.
I was going to say, do you disagree?
No. I got a little.
Oh, wow. And both pieces of combo already in hand as well. He's just got to start finding a way to push through and get some more damage to the face done on Lemurian so that can finish him up.
That Lothid really makes this turn a little bit rough, though.
Yeah. I think...
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. I think you charge this and just start pushing damage to face. Okay, maybe not. Maybe going a little safer here then.
Oh, that was you can't play Big Game Hunter with Dr. Boom on the board.
No, you can't. Big Game Hunter has to kill something if it's there.
Yeah.
He cannot help himself. He just sees it. He's like, oh, it's going down.
I got a gun.
All right. So
you're not really going to get more Black Knight value.
No.
And putting a Dr. Boom on the board is just like, he's Dr. Boom that's at 2 health is going to kill your Dr. Boom.
Yeah, and the next turn is turn 9. You've already seen Thaurissan, so there's the potential that combo is even cheaper, and even if it's not, it's turn 9 versus a Druid, and you're looking at 12 guaranteed damage that's already on the board if all you do is Dr. Boom.
Wow,
he'd be dead to combo.
Wow. He's one.
Or no, he'd be 1 mana.
He's one damage short.
1 damage short.
1 damage
to combo.
or 1 mana short.
Yeah, so if
lethal.
he picks up an Innervate, then it's lethal. He can hero power.
You know, he might as well.
Or he could Wrath the face.
Yeah.
To finish him off with that
just
leftover
face,
mana.
man.
Missed legal. Missed legal.
Wrath the face for 1. They can even draw a card.
All right, so yeah, this is a tough situation. I guess if you know what's in your opponent's hand, you got to try to slow it down. But you can't annoy a
Blast
Tron.
Mage.
Yeah.
He's going to go for the snipe.
What's it going to be? Not what he was hoping for. And if he only had one more mana, could have put the ping on Dr. Boom.
Nortron stopping lethal here.
Yeah, slowing it down a little bit.
Lemurian's like,
What to do?
what happened?
Yeah, what a rough draw. Every single one of those sort of expensive high curve tech choices that you made.
Wait, is that
Wait.
9 plus 6 is 15?
Okay, so he's got the 2 from his
12.
face. 15
Oh, yeah,
plus
that's lethal.
12. We're the best. We're the best.
We're so good. Oh, man.
To be fair, Kolento had to sit there and count it for a little bit too. Kolento just didn't automatically, sometimes in your games you just whop whop as soon as it's your turn.
Usually when someone plays combo, they can't play anything else.
Yeah.
But when you can play Wrath and combo,
Yeah.
whew, that's a doozy. Oh, yeah, put up the lower third with our names on it. Just rub us in our own shame. Thank you.
All right, so Kolento gets his revenge against Lemurian.
Moves on to the finals.
And moves on to the grand finals. Impressive stuff. He's going to be up against Roger.
Yeah, that's going to be a really great matchup because both these guys have been having so much success lately. Roger, second at Vi Game House Cup.
Yeah.
Kolento, we listed off his achievements yesterday, and I just would be out of breath trying to do it again.
You don't want to try again?
No, I don't even know if I have it. Oh, yeah, I do have it written down. We're doing it.
All right.
Nope, just kidding.
Just kidding. Okay. Good.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right. Well, and I do want to say, too, to Lemurian that he's got to feel pretty good, though, after this performance.
Definitely, yeah.
Showing up in this stacked of a field, too, against this many caliber players and making it to the semifinals. And playing some fairly impressive Hearthstone, that first match, you can maybe chalk up some of the bad decisions to nerves, if you will. But all in all, really impressive stuff, and I'd love to keep seeing him giving it a try. And there's also always the Redemption Tournament later on.
Yeah, and he came in the first day. He came out swinging.
Yeah.
And even though he had those slight misplays sometimes, there were some games where he proved that he was a fantastic Hearthstone player. Made some tough decisions. That Oil Rogue versus Freeze Mage game was the one that stood out.
Yeah, that is still one of the most impressive series of turns and decisions that I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, and once again, both of the players that automatically qualified for the semifinals were beaten.
That's
were knocked
right.
out. So maybe that momentum is a big thing.
Yeah, maybe need that warm-up match.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the grand final is set. But before we go to that, we do want to remind you that you can still have a chance to enter into our new segment's puzzle contest, if you will. This one was provided once again by Freshka for us. Take a look at this situation and think about what would you do. So we know what Freshka did, and we want to hear what you think he did. What's the best answer to this board state? Go to facebook.com/ESL Hearthstone to enter the contest. Submit your answer on the Facebook page there, and if you are correct, you'll be entered into a raffle to win 5 expert packs.
5 expert packs.
5 expert packs, my
Yeah.
God.
And if you were a caster, you'd probably try and find a lethal.
Yes, you
in
try.
that puzzle. Even though the druid's at 30 health, it's got to be in there somewhere.
It must be. It's just gotta.
Yeah.
All right. Now, of course, we also have our regular giveaways. Go ahead and head over to esl.gg/legendary giveaway to join in the raffles that we do on a weekly basis. You can win more expert packs or even a Plantronics rig headset. You could go to space with that Plantronics rig headset, by the way.
You can open your packs while you're wearing your Plantronics rig headset.
In space while winning games.
With the Plantronics rig headset.
Thank you, by the way, Plantronics. We love you guys so much, and Gigabyte, for sponsoring the Hearthstone Legendary Series and making all of this awesome competition possible in the first place. big shout outs to you guys. And of course, everybody watching at home, please keep sending in those tweets at ESL Hearthstone using that hashtag HLS. I want to know who you're rooting for in the grand final. It's going to be Roger versus Kolento coming up next.
Put your faith in the light.